Well, it's finally here. The highly anticipated limited edition Smartwool and Grateful Dead collection has finally dropped exclusively at smartwool.com.
You may know Smartwool as the go-to brand for all things merino wool, from socks to base layers. Smartwool has been keeping people comfortable outside for decades with some of the softest and ethically sourced merino wool out there.
Well, Smartwool's limited edition collection and collaboration with the Grateful Dead is back by popular demand right in time for the holidays.
From t-shirts and hoodies to beanies and socks, now you can have the next level comfort of Smartwool with all your favorite iconic Grateful Dead designs. Shop the drop exclusively at smartwool.com and get it before it's gone for good. Gone for good. That's Smartwool, SMARTWOOL.com.
Hey everyone, welcome to this special episode of Undermine, brought to you by our partners at Smartwool. Check out the Smartwool Grateful Dead collection at smartwool.com. This is our final bonus episode. We've had a lot of fun doing these, and we're going to continue the conversation about fish comfort songs. And Benji, do you want to kick us off today?
Sure. I had to think about the second one. The first one that I chose on the last episode was Moma Dance. And there's a good long story for that. For the second one, I made a list of a lot of these songs are comforting to me because there's kind of like the soundtrack of our lives, right? So there's Waiting in the Velvet Sea, Bug, Sense and Subtle Sounds is a really good one. I was going to pick Mercury for a moment because Mercury, but I realized we need to make a distinction. It's not really a comfort song. It's a catharsis song.
Mercury has a lot of rough edges.
And yeah, totally. And it's Poison too, but it's a catharsis song, not more than a comfort song. And then Life Beyond the Dream also came into my mind. It really does. That song it really moves me. It reaches into my insides with a message of comfort. And in a strange way, and I just figured this out when Trey sings "Don't Give Up Hope, Keep Dreaming." In my mind, I think I'm hearing my dead mother's voice telling me that, don't give up hope, keep dreaming. So that's enormously comforting, if not a little creepy, but and maybe painful. And it's part of Trey's departed, Ghost of the Forest funeral song cycle. So I'm gonna pivot. I think my official pick of all the fish comfort songs, and like I said, there's many. My official pick is gonna be All of These Dreams. And the reason for that is the music. I'm glad you like that, Tom. The reason I pick it is the music for it sounds like it matches the lyrics. It sounds like this whimsical escape into the woods as a child, where you happen upon this waterfall and the forest creatures tell you, look, there's dangers here in the forest, but don't worry, everything's gonna be all right. And dreams do come true, and so what's not comforting about that? It's eternally optimistic, and it's like a blanket that just wraps itself around you every time. They don't play it nearly enough, but it's a comfort song.
It's Fish's Ripple. Someone told me that it's like that's an enormous compliment. No, but I was celebrating because I thought when you said pivot, you pivoted away from songs, because I wrote your first comfort song, all the ones in contention I had also written, and then you came up with a Trey one, which I had nothing to do with, and I was like, that's the pivot. He's going to choose one that I didn't write.
And then I came back
came
home.
Back to one of mine. Yeah. Totally. So I'm very happy.
Were you in the forest when you wrote All of These Dreams, or thinking about it? I mean, because to me, the music it's so comforting, and the forest isn't necessarily comforting to me. I'm scared by the forest often.
It pays to treat the forest with respect, especially at night.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but then there's the idea that around any corner, besides danger, around any corner, it could be, your wildest dreams.
A beautiful fountain. Yes.
Yeah, that's right. And so I keep looking for it.
That's so great. Thanks for that, Benji. That was good. That was very insightful of you.
Comforting is the word you're looking for.
And comforting to me, and I hope for you. Tom, where are you going when you need more fish comfort?
Where am I going? Well, I was going to say Waste, but I'm not going to. I'm going to say Shade. But let me explain why. So Waste is as close to a love song maybe as I've written, and I kind of steer. It was a thing that I had like with songwriting that I'm going to never write one. I don't know why, or never use the word love in a song. And Trey doesn't have that kind of aversion, or he did back when we used to write songs, but he's changed a bit. But also he also was had a more mature way of looking at it. Like, don't make rules about songwriting is his rule. And so together we wrote this, and I had the basic idea, but he and I then worked and reworked these lyrics. We were sitting in the Cayman Islands in our resort room near the ocean, and I remember watching the sun go down, and we sat into the night until we got it right, and we knew we had something. And it's definitely a comforting song, as many will attest, because it's the one that people come up to me, and RJ, you've been next to me when they do it. They come up and they say that that's the song that they chose, and they thank me for writing Waste for their wedding song. And by the way, that's a huge that's like one of the best compliments. Think about the wedding ceremony, and all the families and the moms and the dads and the first dance, and it's crazy that they're doing that to my words. But so Trey and I years later took that energy and applied it to the song Shade, and that story, getting lost kind of, lost from your relationship, but then finding your way back, and your partner is still waiting for you. And the version on Sigma Oasis, Trey's singing is stellar, and Don Hart's string arrangement. I'll say this kind of might edge Waste out as my favorite Fish comfort song. And Trey once said, Shade is Waste all grown up. And now that I'm all grown up, I guess it makes sense.
It's great. I've sent Tom videos of my son who's 5 singing along to Shade, and he sings. He really only sings the I only like the shade when you're blocking the light, but it's still pretty awesome, and it's great to have these these memorable lines that anchor a song that's really meaningful. It's a great song.
Tom, you mentioned at weddings and having Waste being played at weddings. I was recently, just 2 weeks ago, at a friend's wedding where they had a string section play obviously instrumental version of Farmhouse. And Farmhouse, besides the fear of cluster flies, Farmhouse is also a very comforting song to me. Awesome.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. I agree.
Well, mine's like a little bit of a curveball, if you will. I don't know why, but for me, Runaway Jim is like a serious comfort song. And partially it's because when I started collecting tapes, in the 93, 94, I was getting all these 92, 93 shows, with Runaway Jim openers. And first of all, I think it's the best Fish opener. Like if and it rarely happens anymore, but if you get a Runaway Jim opener, it's just a great way to kick off a set. But, the little quiet part in between the verse and the chorus, and then when they go back to the verse, right, where it's just like a little quiet, and it used to be like that was extended for a couple minutes, and that to me is it just sounds like Fish. Like that's what Fish sounds like to me. Yeah, and it just and then they bring it back, and it's huge and
beautiful.
It's just one of my favorite songs, and I don't know. It's weird that came to mind, because I don't know that it's particularly. Lyrically, I would say that it's, it doesn't make me think of my, my dog or anything. It's just I'm yelling Runaway Jim a bunch of times, but there's something extremely comforting about the music that every time I hear it, I fucking love that song.
It's your security blanket. And the blanket's made out of
Smartwool.
Smartwool.
And also it's a take your seats, type of moment, because it's such a great opener. And when I first started saying Fish, I think I've trained my ears or vice versa, so that when I hear the first notes of Runaway Jim, I start thinking about taking my seats and making sure that everything, I'm strapping in my seatbelt for the show. Here we go, off to the races.
Yeah.
So there's something comforting about that.
Yeah, and they opened the second night of the Man this past summer with Steam into Runaway Jim, which is almost an opener, and I love that version's great. It just like they don't play it as much anymore because their repertoire has grown so much. But whenever I hear it, I'm thrilled. Guys, what? Well, never mind. I was going to ask. I was going to open up a whole nother conversation, but I'm not going to do it. We've accomplished our task here. Are there any Fish songs that you find not comforting? That's my last question.
Carini.
Yeah.
Big black furry creatures from Mars.
Yes. There you go.
And I could, when they asked why did I try to kill you, I could interject with 1,000 different non sequiturs.
I do want to thank Smartwool for being such an awesome sponsor of ours for this season. Thanks, Smartwool, and for keeping us warm. Yeah,
thank you. Yeah, that's all right. That's gonna do it. Those are our bonus episodes. This has been fun, guys. Thank you, and thanks to Smartwool. All right. We'll see y'all soon.
Osiris.